So why am I looking there? My camera's here now. Recently just got into CS, and I was thinking like, I bought some skins, have some swag, and the kind of car you drive based upon your knife in CS is such a thing. I saw a video of this guy like what your knife says about you. It's kind of the same thing, except it's about what car you drive. So we are just going to be going through every Counter-Strike knife. I have the script right here. Went through with a couple of my buddies, and we figured out the best car that matches the Counter-Strike personality of somebody who owns a knife. First, we got the butterfly knife, right? Beautiful knife. I mean, has to be probably the best knife in the game. If you own a butterfly knife, you're definitely rich. You drive a super nice car. I would say either you drive like a nice Lamborghini because you have a butterfly knife, or you spend all your money on your butterfly knife and you drive some like slam Nissan Z. I think that's probably the most accurate. You have drip, right? So you're either really rich or you just have some slammed modded out car. I genuinely hate these. If you have shadow daggers and I'm getting into your car, I'm kind of like immediately already scared that you're gonna crash halfway through the drive. I don't even know if we're gonna make it to like Chipotle or wherever we're going. Yeah. If you have shadow daggers, you definitely have like a Prius, some beat ass Prius, or like a Subaru or something. Like, if you know, you know what I'm saying. Shadow daggers, get them out of here, bro. All right, next we got the stiletto. If you own a stiletto, you're a high class, great all around citizen. I mean, you have the drip, you have the inspect. It's a beautiful knife all around, and you definitely drive a nice, classy car. I would say probably like a Mercedes you would drive if you own a stiletto. And you guys are saying, how do I know that these are accurate, right? So if we go into my inventory, right, I actually do have a stiletto. And y'all want to see proof? This is my Mercedes, guys. So, if you wanted proof that, so these are accurate. They're pretty accurate, I would say. Somebody said, why does that look like it's AI? Yo, it's real, bro. It's real. Okay, we got the Bowie knife. If you have a Bowie knife, you definitely like, you think you're, what's the guy who jumps on the backs of the alligators? Crocodile Dundee. You think you're Crocodile Dundee. I'm not gonna hate on it. It's a great knife. I think probably like maybe top 5. It's a really good knife in the game. I'm not gonna lie. You definitely have like a jacked up RAM. You definitely just blow smoke in everybody's face while they're driving, and you definitely get like 9 miles to the gallon in your RAM. But I respect it. It's a good knife. Good car, jacked up truck. Can't even hate on it. I hate flip knife users. Genuinely, if you have a flip knife, I don't know if I even want to talk to you. You have to be kind of weird to own a flip knife. No animations, no only good things to pull out, and it's like an off-brand stiletto. So you just have like some weird car. We all agreed that if you have a flip knife, you drive a Lincoln 2005, you're probably at least 55. You might be like pushing 60. Yeah, I mean, you're just really old. You definitely don't work, and you just drive to the grocery store in the morning. That's all you do all day. You just play CS and flip your flip knife around. I've been hating on the Talon knife, and now I'm actually going to buy one. I'm getting a Damascus Talon in 2 weeks. Anyways, this knife is beautiful. So it's going to be a little bit of a glaze here. But I'm still going to hate on Tower players because the community of Talon people are just really strange. So I think Talon people or LARPers, you could get a Karambit. The Talon has better animations, but you're just LARPing Karambit at this point. So I would say you definitely drive a BMW i8. BMW i8 is just maximum LARP car. Okay, that sounds kind of weird the way I said it. But, dude, $30,000 car, suicide doors, people think you're rich. Same thing with the Talon. You walk around with a Talon, people are like, yeah, this guy has to have money. You understand. You understand. Next, we have the bayonet. If you own the bayonet, you're kind of similar to Bowie users. I agreed. Range Rover 1995. This sucker right here. I mean, I respect it. It's a good knife. You drive a good car. You probably like think you're in a safari expedition. You know, you would like have a pair of binoculars on standby. You might even be one of those like weird zombie bunker people. But all around respectable knife. You know, nothing I can say is wrong with it. All right, classic players. If you own a classic and you're in the chat right now, do you like spread butter with it? Do you take it from your CS character and cook up some toast and stuff? Maybe make some PB&J with it. You definitely have money though, because this knife, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of classy. It's good animations. You know, it kind of looks like a Supra. It kind of reminds me of a Supra. So I'm gonna say if you own a classic knife, you definitely have a Supra or a nice, just like almost like Porsche-ish looking car. Falchion players, that actually disgusts me. If you have a falchion knife, you know, you definitely sit at home and you do this. Wrong inspect game. Wrong inspect. Wrong inspect again. Wrong inspect. Alright, I'm about to get pissed off here. Can we hold it like this, bro? No, I'm getting... There we go. If you have a falchion, you sit there like this. Oh, he does that. Oh, it's pretty cool. You drive a smart car. You don't talk to anybody because you have no friends because you own a falchion knife. You have one of the single door smart cars. You don't drive anybody around because you literally can't. You can't even fit in your own car. You know, you're kind of like always. It's pretty much like driving a bicycle at that point. It's pretty similar, I would say, on standards. Yeah, I just don't like falchion users. It's a disgusting knife. The pullout's atrocious. The animations are just weird. That's all I have to say for falchion users in their car. Gut knife users. You know, if you have a gut knife, you definitely don't have a car if you have a gut knife. You saw the guy on TikTok, right here, who glazes the gut knife and says the Huntsman's the worst piece of trash in the game, even though the Huntsman's better, right? And you were like, yeah, you know, that makes sense. The gut knife, you're a fisherman. Wow, that's pretty cool. Let me get a gut knife. You're too poor to afford a good knife, so you bought the gut knife. So honestly, you don't even have a car. I would say you have a kayak. You know, I would say that's probably the most fitting. You probably have like one of those weird pedal kayaks too. Like not even like a normal kayak. You just have a weird pedal kayak. And if you are rich enough, like you bought a gut knife, you know, you save some of your money, you definitely drive like a Nissan Cube. That's the most fitting for this knife. Nothing else. If you have a gut knife, it's either a kayak or a Nissan Cube. There's no in between. If you have a Huntsman, you definitely drive like a Ford Ranger, a beat up Ford Ranger, and I respect it. You know, you like to fish, you like to hunt, you get on the game, and you spin this nice looking knife. I mean, there's nothing more I can say. It's just a beautiful knife. You know, I respect the car you drive if you have a Huntsman. Definitely an upstanding person. All right. If you have a Crambit, you definitely got money because you're spending at least like, I don't know, for a good Crambit, maybe 1,000 range, 1,500 for a nice looking Crambit. You probably drive like a Porsche. I would say that's the most fitting for Crambit users. You know, you either drive a Porsche or like I said with the gut knife, you drive nothing and you just walk because you spent all your money on the Crambit. That's like the only two options. I kind of want to skip this one just out of like pure hatred towards Kukri players. Yeah, Kukri players don't have a car. I would say like it's not like bicycle level. I would say, yeah, you either drive an electric scooter or one of those hoverboards that you just lean forward and it goes forward. That's definitely, you don't have a car. You're too poor. You have a $50 Kukri and you have a hoverboard or something weird. Kukri players are just weird. So I could see that. If you guys play CS, right, you're gonna know if you have an M9, you have class, just like a stiletto player or a butterfly knife player. You're just an outstanding person. You definitely, if you have an M9, you walk around in a business suit and you just hand out business cards. People just kind of stare at you. You know, you just have like that M9 aura. You could probably put an M9 on your like resume to get a job. I guarantee you'd probably get a job over somebody who has like a kukri or something. So I'm gonna say you probably have like an Aston Martin, some like nice like luxury leather seats, nice beautiful car that you just whip around and people definitely stare at you and know you're like the shit when you walk around. That's the vibe I get from M9 players. If you own this knife, I'm kind of scared of you, I'm gonna be honest. Just like some other knives, you don't have a car if you have this. You know, yeah. If you own a Navaja, you actually do have a car, but it's not yours. You have your mom's beat up 2002 minivan that you drive around to Publix to grab your groceries. And that's about all you do. That's what happens when you own a Navaja. That's the only car you have. You don't own a car. You just use your friend's car or your mom's beat up minivan, and that's how you get around town. I'm not gonna lie, I do like the Nomad, but Nomad players have the highest ego out of any other knife like group, I guess you could say. Like, Nomad players logged on to TikTok, or they saw that one pro where he shakes his hand and after he got the one tap kill, and they think the Nomad is just the best knife in the game. They think it's probably better than the Butterfly, right? So you're kind of a trend hopper. You're kind of unoriginal. You just get your ideas from TikTok. So you definitely have like a Honda Civic or just car that's over TikTok. This is the most basic car ever. You know, I can't really hate because everybody has it kind of thing. But honestly, I know a lot of people hate on the paracord. I think it's not a terrible knife. The blade looks good. The good animation's good. Other than that, it's terrible, right? But it does have some things going for it. So for that factor, you have just a normal standard Jeep Wrangler you drive around. You know, you put a cooler back in there, pop some beers, go to the beach. You know, you're a chill guy if you have a paracord. I mean, I can't really hate on any paracord players. You know, they're just a pretty safe driver, I would say. So yeah, I like paracord users are good. I feel like I'm like shitting on the person instead of talking about the car. I need to lock in, bro. We only got 2 more left too. This is a second to last knife. Kind of saving the worst for last, you could say. We have the survival knife. You know, if you have a survival knife, I just immediately don't want to get in your car. I'll take a look at your car, and you know when you're like walking through like a grocery store and you see people's cars with like stickers on the inside, like they just give their kid a whole sticker sheet and they just let him go crazy. That's the survival player's car. You know, they gave their kid some little shitty thing of stickers and they just don't care that they just put them all over their window and their car looks terrible. And you know, their car is like battle scarred, if I'm gonna be honest. Like the paint has so many chips in it. It's like a 0.9 float. You know, it's probably the worst possible thing you could see. That is exactly what survival knife players drive. I'm like struggling to say this because I'm just so upset by this knife, I'm gonna be honest. The final knife is the Ursus knife. Now, the Ursus knife, it's not it. The only thing it has going for it is this right here. And you can sit there and you just watch it spin and spin and spin, and then you get one tapped because you're too busy watching it spin. So if you have a Ursus, you definitely don't have a car either, if I'm being honest. You spent $200 or $150 on a super mid knife with the ugliest green handle I've ever seen in my life. So you drive a bicycle. Alright guys, as you can see, I'm currently editing right now. I take this back, Ursus players. You do not have a bicycle. It gets even worse than this. You guys have a moped. So just like that green handle that sticks out, you guys are in the middle of the road on a moped, freaking going like 25 miles per hour, almost getting run over. And you're just causing a nuisance, just like this freaking knife on CS. So no, you guys don't have a bicycle. You guys get a moped. I'm changing my perspective. Enjoy the rest of the video, guys. Not even like, I would give you the benefit of kukri players. Like they have, at least they have an electric scooter, you know, electric scooter. At least it has some kind of like people aren't gonna stare at you for it. If you have an Ursus knife, there's nothing I can look at but that ugly green handle that just absolutely murders the this red Doppler. So I mean the ruby. Yeah, it's all I can look. This guy's knifing me. Can we not, bro? It's all I can see, and it just sticks out, kind of like people on a bicycle. So, okay, I don't know why I'm hating on people who drive bicycles. I don't. Shut. Yo, this guy's about to piss me off, bro. This guy's about to piss me off. So yeah, if you have an Ursus, you definitely just drive around on a bicycle. I mean, I feel like that's pretty accurate. It's not an electric bicycle either. That's what I was saying about the Kukuri. At least they have like the luxury of just holding a little button and you go down. You definitely pedal that shit, you know. That's all I have to say. So if you guys agree with all my ratings on, you know, the knife you have is the car you drive, comment down below which one's the best. And if you guys disagree, also you guys can comment down what your knife is, what your car is. As you guys know, the Stiletto and my Mercedes, you know. So I feel like it's pretty accurate. Most of these are pretty accurate. But yeah, should I do this again? Should I do this with gloves? Should I rate knives? Yeah, I'll see you guys.